Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Roof podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back for another film review, another Netflix film review. We've been doing a lot of Netflix because I think, Amazon doesn't have a lot of stuff. We are talking about Golden Kamuy, Cuckoo, whatever. I mean, like, I can't even find out what this is, like, how to pronounce this joint. But, Joe, right now, IMDb has it at, they gave it a 6.3. That's okay.
That's about fair. Yeah, that's just about fair.
Okay, 6.3.
I liked and hated this movie for a bunch of reasons.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I was first of all, it looks really well. It looks really well.
Visually, it's stunning. It's like it's nice.
Right.
It's nice.
And the reason why I wanted to check out this movie is because I've been like researching a lot of manga stuff, right? And I'm just like, oh, okay, so this is a manga joint, right? So this is almost it's the same to some degree as One Piece, right? A little bit, right? I mean, it's a treasure. People are trying to find it. Someone has pseudo superpowers or not. I don't know, right?
Yeah, it's not clear,
right?
Because he survives a lot of stuff that would kill lots of people.
Yeah,
put it like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so as I was doing my research, I come to find out that this is actually an anime series. So this started like back in 2017, 2018. There are 3 seasons. People are nutso over it. If you like search YouTube about this show, right? I saw maybe 2 or 3 reviews about the movie. Everything else is about the series.
So, show, right?
Yeah, because I was trying to find out, how do you pronounce this? Is it Golden Kamuy or Kamu? So I was like, maybe someone is going to say it on the channel, right? But they're not talking about the movie. They're talking about the anime series, right? And I'm just like, wow, okay, And you know what? The animated series has that like animated style, just like the animated series of One Piece.
Yeah, it's a unique thing. It's acquired taste. I'll put it like that. But One Piece gets more grown and more interesting the longer you watch it.
Yeah.
So it is where it's this. I guess this is kind of like that too, because this movie's violent as hell. Like it's very an adult movie.
It's so weird because it's like crazy violence and then like some comedy. It's just
just
dude,
silly,
like really, what's this all about?
Comedy.
Exactly.
And like like little jokes and stuff like that. Like when a soldier, he's like the one of the guys said something crazy, and one of the soldiers like, I'm out. I've had enough of this. He slightly backed out. I laughed for that for like 5 minutes, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell are we watching right now? It's all in tonally, it is all over the place.
It's all over the place.
I guess the anime style for that, but like I don't know. I liked and hated it at the same time. That's my take.
Yeah, it was it kind of reminded me of it kind of reminded me of like back in the day, like Saturday morning we would wake up and watch Kung Fu flicks or like Godzilla or King Kong or something like that.
It's like silly slapstick.
Yeah, and you saw like you always saw like the overdubs, right? The overdubs were terrible, right? And then the goofy guy, like the scared. What's up?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's silly slapstick comedy, but a bear takes this guy's face off. Like literally
exactly, right?
Off.
And it's just like
there's
the goofy guy, who's like doing all that, and then you have the girl, with the like little squeaky voice, the overdubs. I'm telling you, there is. Yeah. Listen, if there is a company, there's got to be a company out there that only does overdubs.
It's the same people.
It's the same people. Because I've been watching something, I watched the trailer of like this show, and the same main character voice is the same voice of the lead person from Pluto. And I was like, that's that guy, that's that guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is, you're right, man. This movie was, I finished it in 3 days. I mean, dude, I watched it in chunks, man, because it's so goofy. It's kind of stupid. It's definitely goofy. Even the violence is kind of goofy and stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the violence is kind of animated violence, but
Yeah,
also like raw as hell.
right. Mhm.
Like the army stuff at the beginning was kind of like Saving Private Ryan. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oof,
And
rough.
I'm glad you brought that up because again, like when I'm looking at this movie and I'm like, oh, when they were battling, the Russians, right? So they're
Yeah,
battling the
yeah.
Russians, right? And I'm just like, well, two things came to mind. One was, those
Mhm.
sort of like trench battles kind of reminded me of All Quiet on the Western Front a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the other thing that sort of caught my eye was, okay, Russia, like the Japanese are fighting the Russians, right? They're in a war. Yo, what happened to China? China is in between Russia and like
Yeah, I know.
Japan. And I'm just like, is this a map where China doesn't exist? I don't think so because there's dynasties that are like like centuries old, and I'm just like, how are they fighting each other like in these trench warfare and everything,
I didn't know that part of history, but like,
and in
hey, man,
China.
anything's possible.
I'm like, where's China? Because again, China is in the middle of like, in between Russia and Japan. So I'm like, okay, it's whatever, dude.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't
Mhm.
imply where they were. That it
Yeah.
wasn't clear exactly where they were.
Yeah.
So I would assume Russia is in Japan right now because that's the only thing that makes sense.
Russia's
Because
in
they're not
China
in
for
the
real. Just
landmass
like,
of Europe. I'll put it like that.
and I was just like, oh, well, is it Mongolia? Because, like that used to be part of like Russia. I mean, I'm sorry, China. And then Russia had something to do with it. Anyway, I was just like, man,
It's
like the
not clear.
geography here is a little off because I do know that, there's a country between Russia and Japan, right?
Fair enough. Fair
And I'm
enough.
just
Fair
like,
enough.
this is kind of weird, man. But
Yeah, we're
it
gonna move over that.
y-
We're just gonna move right over that.
yeah, it was just like I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, but you know what? It was shot well. It looked really great.
Yeah,
Definitely great.
action sequences were really good.
Actions,
Obviously,
yeah.
you know.
It's I want to say the first thing that came to mind, what I was about to say was, it's a tough watch, and it's a tough
Mhm.
watch because I don't really know where it's going, where it's going, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Why is
Yeah,
this? You
it
know?
wasn't clear because like the story is about these tattoos and all the
Yeah,
criminals that escaped, right? That's the story, and find this gold.
yeah,
But like they didn't actually touch on the gold part or anything else with that throughout the entire movie
right,
until like the last 5 minutes of it when they're doing their monologue. I was like, oh yeah, there's gold in this movie. Like, where are we getting to that part?
right,
Like,
exactly.
it was like they're clearly gearing up for sequels and making more of this thing. Like
Yeah,
that's
no,
obvious.
there's a
It could
sequel.
be
There's a sequel coming for sure because you have like 3 seasons of the animated series. And again,
Mhm.
at the end, once the credits rolled, then they showed like another sequence of something, right? And I was just like, oh, a sequel is coming out, and I was just like, okay, all right.
This was
And
it. I liked and hated this movie, and I'm interested and not interested in watching the sequel.
yeah,
That's the best way to describe it. I don't know. Maybe it's my sensibilities. I'm too old or I'm too young. I don't know what it is.
mhm,
I'm not that big into Japanese anime and manga and stuff like that. I'm not that. Like, I watch some stuff, but like
mhm,
I'm not that. I'm not a huge fan of everything.
yeah.
So maybe that's it. I don't know. Like I watched the movie. I watched in one setting, and I was just like, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I couldn't get into it. I couldn't enjoy it. And there's things that I really liked about it. Like I
Yeah.
like the actors. The actors were
Mhm,
great.
yeah.
The storyline was interesting. Like that whole tattoo thing. Like I would like to see more of that, but we didn't get to that at all. And like the crazy general with the he got some shrapnel in his head.
He
That
got
guy's a villain. Like,
he
whoa.
got half of his head like, shot
Yeah,
off and
he's got
now he's wearing some
leaking
sort of a
out.
dome.
Yeah, like I'm
Like,
saying, you got a good villain. He's clearly a good bad guy.
mhm.
Your protagonist is great. I don't know, like I liked it and I disliked it at the same time. I don't I'll probably watch eventually the sequel whenever it comes out if it's out
Eventually.
already. I'll
Eventually.
get to it. I
Mhm.
don't know. Maybe a sequel I'm gonna like it more because it's more focused on the actual story that I thought we were getting into. I
Yeah.
That's the thing. I feel not bamboozled, but like I feel like it was a little bait and switch because I wanted the adventure about because when it started, I was like, oh wow, this gold adventure, the tattoos, that's crazy. Let's see more of that. and then we didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the second story, when they actually get to that stuff, it might be more interesting. Um, I don't know. I'm just kind of meh. I
Yeah.
didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just there.
When you have, and see, this is what I don't understand. When
Mhm,
part of the plot is you have a map where all of this gold, all of this treasure is located, and you went to
mhm,
jail, and because you are so you're an OG, you went to jail, right? Because you're
mhm,
so powerful, you tattooed the map on like 10 or 12 prisoners, right?
mhm.
I think
Yes.
if you took that plot line and you created a different story arc around it, man, that would be a bad movie, wouldn't it?
Yes. That's what
Right?
when that movie started, I was like, "Oh, snap.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. It sounds crazy."
Right.
And then it just kinda like, "Do-do-do." Like, I don't know. It just it was okay-ish. It wasn't terrible because the action was good, and I liked the protagonist. I liked the actors, even the everybody in the movie, I didn't mind them.
Mhm.
It was fine. Is the execution, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's something about it I just didn't like.
It was just
And
goofy, man. It was goofy for me. It was just, I mean, like,
okay, totally, it was all over the place.
is this a
Like, as far as
movie? This is clearly, I was about to say a family movie, but it's very violent.
it's not
You
a
know,
family
it's
movie.
not a
I
family
would not let
movie,
little
dude.
kids watch this
You
movie.
know, yeah. I mean, when the bear came out and like just sliced this guy's face off, like literally scratched this guy's
It's
face was
yeah,
hanging off
literally
like this.
his
It was like
skins, and
this.
he died. And he
Right.
died on camera too, so you can see
Right.
his face just
Exactly.
hanging there. I was like, "Oh, snap."
And then you got
And,
the
like,
big
it
white wolf. I mean, like that's the biggest wolf I've ever seen.
yeah, it broke this dude's leg. Like, there's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of things in this movie that you're like, "Oh, snap.
Yeah.
This is kinda crazy."
Hmm.
So, yeah, tonally, the action sequences and great. Like, the fight on the horse, that was fun. That
That
was a
was pretty
good,
dope.
action sequence. Yeah. They were torturing this guy, sticking stuff in him, like, the guy cut his stomach out. Like, yo, there's violence in this movie that is bonkers.
Yeah,
That
for
is
real.
just like, "Oh, what am I watching right now? This is wild."
Hmm.
And then there's slapstick comedy talking about eating poo, and, you've seen villagers and whatever, and they're talking about their family member. Like, it's a bunch of silliness
Yeah, it's
in the
goofy,
in the
man.
middle of a bear ripping this guy's face off.
Right.
Right?
It's definitely
I
goofy,
don't know.
man. It's goofy,
It's
man.
for sure it's goofy, for
Let's
sure.
wrap this up, dude. Okay, we are talking about Golden Kamuy. That's what I'm calling it, Kamuy. This is a Netflix original film. This is part of an animated series, although the film is like live action. What are you going to
Yeah.
rate this film?
I'm gonna give it a 6.5, and I'm not gonna elaborate. It's just okay. And
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's worth taking a look at. It's 6.5. That's it. That's all I'm
yeah.
gonna go with.
I'm going to give it a 5 because it's just goofy. It's goofy, it's stupid. To have violence like that and kind of an interesting story, but somehow it
It's a good
stopped.
story.
Right. The story could have been even more interesting, but it just veered off to comedy. It's goofy, dude. I mean, like if you're into the animated series, this may work for you. I mean, we went
Mm.
to the live action One Piece first. I'm not watching like, 700 episodes of like, the animated series of One Piece. I'm not doing
I've
that.
been watching the anime because like they're further along in the
Oh,
anime.
really?
It's
So how is it?
yeah, that's the thing. The anime gets more serious and more interesting the further it goes. It
Yeah.
stops being as silly as it was before at the beginning.
Hmm.
So like you gotta watch it, but like I don't know. I did like the live action. I thought the live action was done really well. And so when I see something that's the anime and it's moved over to TV or movie, I expect to keep some of the fun and whatever from the anime, but also make it interesting for people who don't watch it. And it's hard. There's so many movies and shows hit or miss with this thing because it's hard. It's hard to translate,
Yeah.
and sometimes you shouldn't even translate. It's just not even worth it.
Like, yeah,
So
just keep it an
I
anime.
don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's hard. It's really hard.
There you go. We are talking about Golden Kamuy. Keo gave it a 6.5. I gave it a 5. It's goofy. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. It's that simple, y'all.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I'm DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.